Hello, everybody. Good evening. It's been a while. It's great to see everybody. Really happy with the 100 points tonight. There was a few kids that stood out. I thought Nevaeh set the table for us defensively. As I asked them at shoot around today, if there was one area or one side of the ball that I really wanted them to focus on was the defensive side of the ball in rebounding. And I felt like if we could get them just focus on that side of the ball, everything else would come easy for them offensively. And so we asked Nevaeh to set the table for us and be really aggressive from the jump. And I thought, her teammates, took her lead and guarded extremely hard at the beginning of the game and set the tone, I think, for the rest of the rest of the game. So I thought our energy and our effort level was really good. We used a lot of bodies tonight off the bench. That was good to see. I didn't think that we ever got to a point where we were sloppy in any of our play, which is a good sign of a team that, with all the new pieces we have, got our goals, 21 assists, under 12 turnovers, which was terrific. I wanted to keep them under 55. We had to reevaluate that, and we wanted to keep them under 35. We were able to do that. So they met all of their goals that we gave them. I thought Maya came in and did a lot of really good things. She was a rebound away from a double-double. Just really great energy, was physical. It was great to see. She heard my message because I thought she came out from the jump and was really focused in defensively. It's kind of not that we haven't shot 35 threes before here. Some of our other teams, but there's a lot of open shots tonight. And I thought, Phoenix came out in that first half and was just trying to get one to go down. And again, we got a lot of work to do. We know it. But I thought it was a good start, for an exhibition game. I'm just pleased that, we won. We did some really good things. We're always going to find things we got to clean up. When you're playing a team and you get the lead, it's easy to take your foot off the pedal. And I didn't think that we did that. So I'm really proud of our group for being able to do that tonight.
Yeah, Teri, in terms of the starting lineup, I think I know what you're going to say about Nevaeh, why she was in there. But is this the starting five you kind of envision going forward? And can you speak to maybe why Valentina also was kind of part of that group or is part of that equation?
Yeah. Well, I think one of we knew probably, we felt pretty good with at least, having those three starters that we knew kind of going into this thing with Z, and we thought Bo and Shay were certainly going to be, no, they had to earn it, Mike. I'm not going to say we gave it to them. They had to earn it. Again, once, Nevaeh came in, she just gives us something completely different that we never have had. And that, other than, if you guys remember, Nikki Hillary, somebody that can pressure the ball the way Nevaeh can and make you uncomfortable. She's bigger than Nikki. They're different, but yet we didn't have that a year ago or the last probably 2 years with somebody that was going to heat the ball up the way Nevaeh can heat it up. And so we like that about her. And then, with Val, it was just, feeling like, Maya, again, not that she won't be ready, but, she's a freshman. And we just felt like Val, because she had been in our system, because she gave us comfort in terms of how we do things. The one area, and it's always for freshmen, Nevaeh is a little bit different, but Maya is still trying to learn and understand how to guard at this level. And the one thing that Val gives us is a very sturdy, steady, sound defender. And so that's why she got the nod to get in the lineup. And if Maya can find her, continue to get better and improve, and she looked, like I said, she heard our message the last couple days. I think she's been, more focused and in tune to just how much we value that side of the ball. They're both going to play a lot for us, but she stood out because of her rebounding tonight. She hadn't been rebounding like that in practice. I promise you that. So that was great to see.
Teri, last time we talked to you was when practice was just beginning. Now with the regular season coming up next week and, with what we saw tonight, just what's kind of the progress report on your team going into the regular season? What are you pleased with right now? What are the sticking points they need to keep working on? Just where's your team at right now?
Well, that's a great question. And I was as eager to watch us tonight as anybody. Now, did we anticipate that they were going to come out and play us as much zone? I was kind of disappointed with that. I mean, I really wanted to have to match up against some man-to-man and have to execute some of our stuff. And so I guess we'll have to wait, for that to happen. And who knows, Seth, we may get zoned a lot. I don't know. So we'll have to continue to work, not just man-to-man, but certainly, we haven't spent a lot of time on zone offense, to be honest with you. There in the second half, we were running all of our motion stuff, just trying to generate some energy behind the ball. But, I think tonight, was a really good starting point for this group. I think that it's a long season and we have so much room to improve and get better. I think there's a high ceiling for this group. But what I'm most, like I said, we gave them game goals and they achieved every one of them. And so that's a great start, And we went to, Indiana, IUPUI, the new Indy, a couple weeks ago when we turned that thing over 20-plus times. And so we've really emphasized taking care of the ball. We want more assists, and then we really want to set the table with our defense. And so I thought they tried to do that from the jump tonight. We got to keep Z out of foul trouble. We know how important she is on the floor. But we did some really good things. The start of the season, that will bring different challenges, absolutely. I think Lipscomb, I haven't watched any of Lipscomb, but, they have, a pretty veteran team. And so, this week we'll go back, we'll watch film. We'll just continue to work on us defensively, certainly offensively, continue to emphasize the things that we think are really important, and that's low turnovers, sharing the ball, playing fast, more hit-aheads, more drop-offs, more opportunities for our post players, Z especially because she gets up and down the floor really fast. She's going to beat most fives down the floor, there's no question. And so we got to reward her for that. And there's going to be some things that we're going to watch and that we missed, right? We missed each other. Again, I liked how they were competitive. I love their energy and I love their effort tonight. And so, again, I think all really good things for a team that, is trying to still learn a lot about each other.
A lot of new faces out there tonight making their Assembly Hall debut. Was there anything special you told the team beforehand in the locker room?
I told them I wanted them to focus on the defensive side of the ball, and I felt like if they did that, that would take the pressure off them of thinking I have to go down and score a bunch of points to stay on the floor. That's just not how we do things around here. You get rewarded. You'll stay on the floor if you guard and you rebound for us. And so I think some of them are figuring that part of it out, that, we got to score. I get that. And they understand that. But that's not the whole picture for us, right? It's more about can we rely on you on that side of the ball? On the nights that our shot's not falling, can you still be impactful defensively for us? And so that's where I'm trying to get them focused. And then as usual, I always tell them, to enjoy the moment and have fun. But I think these guys were excited about, being back in the hall. It's a Monday night. It's a tough draw for us. I get it. But there were still some really, some good fans, that I think applauded and gave us some energy, when we either hit a three or made a nice play. So, but it's good to get our feet wet and get this one under our belt so we can move forward to, next week.
We were told that "be aggressive" is written on the whiteboard in the locker room. I felt like you guys totally did that, and it
Right.
translated to a lot of quick buckets, a lot
Sure.
of threes, got a lot of shots up tonight. I know it's an exhibition game, but can other teams? Is that what they're going to be able? Is that what they're going to have to expect moving forward this season?
Well,
when they play
we
you?
always want to play fast and be aggressive. The thing we don't want to do is turn that thing over. And I think anytime that you're asking your team to be aggressive, play with urgency. There's a tendency to want to, get that thing out and be kind of reckless and careless with the ball from time to time. And, we rep every single day playing fast but taking care of the ball. And so that's not anything new to them. But, I'm going to go back to, how we started this, and that was, my biggest message was I wanted them to be aggressive defensively without fouling. We didn't do a great job of that. If there was one area that we're going to have to really clean up is we can't foul as much as we did tonight. And so we'll go back and work on that, and they'll have to understand, like, Z has to stay on the floor for us. She thought she had 6 fouls. She asked us at halftime. It's so funny. She said, "Do I get 6 fouls?" I said, "What? Like, so I don't know I don't know, maybe they told her that at UCLA. I don't know. So, but. Maybe it's a WNBA, but yeah. So she, I don't think, and we took her out. I'm not sure she even knew she had 3 fouls. So, but we need her to stay on the floor.
Hi, Coach.
Hi.
When Shay was in here a minute ago, she said, "We don't have to do much leading. We lead by example." Could you speak on the leadership on this team?
Well, I think anytime, and again, Shay is a veteran. Obviously, she's only been with our program for 2 years, but she had great leaders to follow, and Chloe Moore McNeil, right? Sid Parrish, Caroline Striplin a year ago. I mean, those 3 were outstanding in the way they led, our group, and so I think for Shay and Bo. Bo, is probably a little bit more vocal. What I've loved is Z has been really vocal too. Shay, they're going to lead by example because they play hard. They're in here every day working on their game, and that's one of the ways. If they're going to demand from their teammates, then they gotta walk the walk too, right? And so. It's been pretty seamless for both Bo and Shay, but I think for those new kids, there's still there's a lot of newness still with coming to a different place. And as I've said, and I've had conversations with Bo and Shay, I mean, we have to give those guys some grace. Like, there's still a learning curve here for all of them, all those new guys. And although we can lead in different ways by example with our voice. I mean, every one of them needs they have different buttons you can push, right? But the thing about leadership is that leadership, it can only be effective if you have relationships with your teammates. And by relationships, I mean on and off the floor. Like, you got to figure out what those buttons are that drives Phoenix, right? Phoenix is a kid that needs less in tone and more of put your arm around Phoenix and tell her you believe in her and she's going to be fine, right? Where you might be able to get in Odessa. You might be able to challenge her with other ways, right? All right, you don't have to put your arm around Odessa. You just need to tell her she needs to be better and challenge her, and usually she can step up. And so it's just finding ways that the relationship piece is really, I think, important for Bo and Shay. But yeah, they so far. I mean, it's still early, right? And hopefully they'll morph. There'll be other leaders that will, like I said, I think Z has great potential to lead our team too.
Chase Sotsky, the Hoosier Network. Thank you for taking the time, Teri. I have 2 questions, if that's okay. My first one is, you just talked about relationships. This is pretty much a fresh start for you as a head coach, going through a almost complete roster change. What has been your main focus in creating these relationships that you just talked about, both on and off the floor?
Well, I think staying patient and understanding that, every day when we walk in, it's just a reminder, like there's only 4 of these guys that have been here, right? Returners. And the rest of them are brand new. And so I think every season has a life of its own, right? And every journey's different from every team. That's what makes coaching so cool, right? You get a new team, usually, a different one, a new one every year. Now, did I expect to have pretty much a brand new team? I probably didn't expect that. However, we were very intentional about the pieces we did bring in, and for me, it's a reminder every day for just not me, but also for our staff that there has to be some at times we got to remind ourselves that they're still new, they're still trying to figure it out, and with that, you have to have, although a lot of coaches, including myself, at times don't lack a lot of patience, right? But I think with this group, here's the thing that they're trying really hard. They show up every day. They're trying to do right. They're not perfect. It's an imperfect game. We always remind them of that. But it's having those one-off conversations and reminding them that we believe in them. We're glad every one of them are here. But also just every now and again you have to kind of pause and remind yourself in the moment. Like, they don't know that. They don't know that yet, right? They'll soon figure that out, and they'll soon know that. But right now, even though we might have taught it, it's not. They need more reps in doing it. And once they get all those reps in doing it, it's just like our other great teams that we've had here. Then I don't have to remind them. They already know.
Yeah, absolutely. And your team today started out hot from deep. There was a little bit of a cold stretch in that first half, but you guys didn't shy away from keep on shooting, and it ended up working. Shea was on fire to start that second half.
Yeah.
Why was it so important for you to stay the course?
Well, again, it's different when you don't spend the time in practice getting all those reps and getting all those shots up, right? And so and I mean all of them, are in here every single day, before practice, after practice, every single day getting those shots up. And so we have to believe that those shots are going to go in. And so they get to take those shots because they rep them every day. The only thing I've ever asked them to do is don't come to the game and shoot a shot that you haven't practiced. And so that's how there's a comfort in they're open. We expect them to shoot it. And if it goes in, great. If it doesn't, then if the next one comes around and your feet are set and you feel like you're in rhythm, shoot it again. And so that's the trust that we have in them, but it's because of the work. The confidence can only come from your work. And that's one of our sayings in Cook Hall. And so all these guys are in there every single day. And they're working on their game, I can promise you that. And so, yeah. You're fine.
Teri, Sydney Fenn missed all of last year. Obviously didn't dress tonight. Just wondering if you have any update there.
Yeah, so she had to have another surgery, and so she will not be playing this year. That's it. Same injury, yeah. I mean, she had another knee surgery. Kind of very similar maybe to Mackenzie's.
Coach, you mentioned the importance of defense today, and it felt like you guys were closing out on every single perimeter shot. What do you see from your team and how they adjusted throughout the entire game?
Well, again, we asked them to, we did a scout on the Missouri S&T team. We knew that they like to put the ball inside, but their guards like to attack, off the bounce as much as they can. And so, we've talked long and hard since we started this thing about our ball pressure, about being in high gaps, about being in our rotations, trying to keep people in front of you. We did that tonight for the most part. I think we just fouled too much. So there's things that we're gonna see. We just don't want to give up blow-bys. I think we gave up a few of those, and it was really because we just weren't high enough in the gap. We were a little flat. And so, again, something we rep every single day. It was a good test for us to have to, and the thing about film, it's so great. It's such a great teaching tool. They're going to see it and they're going to say, yeah, now I know, right? And that's another way that they can learn. But, I thought for the most part, again, they all came in and really tried to do what we asked them to do defensively. At times they just fouled. They got a little overzealous and fouled too much.